India will soon have 3 aircraft carriers ready to pummel Pakistan in the next war and keep China out of the Indian Ocean in case of a conflict. It's confirmed India will build its 3rd aircraft carrier, but this one will be special. Unlike INS Vikrant or INS Vikramaditya, this new super carrier will be nuclear powered, which means it can patrol the Indian Ocean and Indo-Pacific tirelessly without the need to refuel. Now, this new super carrier will also fly the TEDBF fighter jet, which India is developing specially for the Navy and won't rely on foreign imports like the costly Rafale. In another breakthrough, this new carrier will feature the first use of electromagnetic aircraft launch system or EMALS similar to American carriers. India's Ministry of Defense on the 6th of September unveiled a detailed roadmap which includes this 3rd carrier, nuclear powered, enabling longer range operations and greater stealth. Showcasing India's intent to extend its strategic presence across the Indian Ocean, the plan also highlights the need for at least 10 nuclear propulsion systems to power the carrier and other future warships in the coming decade and a half. Now, even China doesn't operate a nuclear-powered carrier. Its 80,000-ton beast Fujian is also powered using diesel engines and steam turbines. However, satellite images revealed China is building a secret 4th aircraft carrier which could be even bigger and rival American supercarriers. Currently, only United States and France are the 2 countries which have mastered this technology. Of course, Pakistan has no carriers, but since Pakistan military relies on memes rather than actual combat, I guess it doesn't matter to them. The Indian supercarrier, which would succeed the indigenously built INS Vikrant, marks the next leap in India's carrier program by moving from conventional propulsion to nuclear-powered propulsion. Remember, India already operates 2 aircraft carriers, INS Vikramaditya, which is of Russian origin, and domestically built INS Vikrant, which joined the fleet in 2022. The Defense Ministry's 2025 roadmap hinted at India facing 2-front threat from China and Pakistan, prompting New Delhi to bolster naval power and lean on domestic defense companies to bolster capabilities and cut dependence on foreign suppliers. A government document revealed, quote, "As the nation stands on the threshold of embracing greater challenges and responsibilities in the forthcoming decades, it is but imperative that the services be equipped accordingly," unquote. Marking the next leap in India's carrier program, the platform will allow uninterrupted blue water operations across extended ranges of the Indian Ocean region. The government plans to procure 2 electromagnetic aircraft launch systems or EMALS of the type developed for the US Navy's Ford-class carriers. Now, India's next carrier will incorporate the latest technological advances, not just limited to EMALS, which are deployed on the world's most advanced warships. Capable of launching a wide range of aircraft weights, EMALS offers increased launch operational ability while also reducing overall costs. Now, EMALS combined with nuclear propulsion will allow flexible air-wing compositions and quicker sortie generation rates, which will be crucial to gaining the upper hand in any face-off over the seas. Not just an aircraft carrier, Indian Navy's 15-year plan also details plans to induct an unspecified number of new generation twin-engine deck-based fighters or TEDBF aircraft and light combat aircraft, both being developed by state-owned Hindustan Aeronautics Limited, specially for the Navy. Remember, earlier this year, India had acquired 26 Rafale Marine from French firm Dassault Aviation. Now, these are now to be deployed on the existing 2 aircraft carriers, replacing and complementing the Soviet-origin MiG-29s. The Navy's defense modernization plan is not just limited to nuclear carriers, however. Additionally, 10 next-generation frigates, 7 stealth corvettes, and 4 landing dock platforms are also being sanctioned. Moreover, carrier-capable drones included in the defense plan would complement in persistent surveillance, strike missions, and in suppressing enemy defenses. Now, earlier there were reports that France had offered to help India co-develop this nuclear-powered supercarrier. According to reports published back in February 2025, the collaborative project, with an intended delivery date in the late 2030s, will involve a cutting-edge maritime asset weighing a formidable 76,000 tons to 78,000 tons, which is quite an upgrade from INS Vikrant's 45,000 tons. Currently, there is no confirmation on this partnership with France. In fact, specific details of the proposed carrier had also been reported. The next carrier would be roughly 305 meters in length with a beam of 79 meters and subsequently an expansive flight deck of 17,000 square meters. Comparatively, INS Vikrant is 262 meters long and 62 meters wide. But first, let's decode why there is a need for the Indian Navy to arm itself with the third aircraft carrier. The answer is simple. INS Vishal will help pack a punch to dominate India's area of maritime interest, which expands across the Indian Ocean region between the Strait of Hormuz on the western front and the Strait of Malacca on the eastern front, and beyond that into what could become the epicenter of World War III, which is the South China Sea. The Indian Navy emphasized having 3 aircraft carriers would allow simultaneous operations of 2 aircraft carriers on the eastern and western seaboard, one in the Bay of Bengal and the other in the Arabian Sea, while the third one remains in maintenance and overhaul. This will reduce operational gaps, and having an additional carrier will enhance force structure without straining resources. Having 3 carriers will enhance combat capabilities and provide critical support for amphibious as well as humanitarian operations. As the maritime landscape evolves rapidly with geopolitical dynamics changing every hour now, the robust presence of aircraft carriers will act as a deterrent and discourage destabilizing activities in the Indian Ocean. They will help keep India at pace with the world's leading navies deployed across the Indo-Pacific region and allow India's power projection right across the globe now. Now, the United States of America has the largest fleet of aircraft carriers in the world with 11 supercarriers in service as of February 2025. China continues to build a multi-carrier force and is planning to have 6 aircraft carriers by 2030 to 2035, according to a report published by the US Department of Defense in 2021. Now, Beijing is projecting power currently at sea with its 2 operational aircraft carriers, the Soviet origin Liaoning and the Chinese Shandong, commissioned in 2012 and 2019 respectively, apart from the giant Fujian. However, all eyes are now on China's massive nuclear-powered aircraft carrier that could compete with the United States' largest vessels. Satellite imagery from March this year shows China is preparing for a 4th-generation carrier, like the Type 004 with 4 catapults instead of the usual 3. Meanwhile, the 80,000-ton Fujian aircraft carrier has undergone multiple sea trials. Fujian is the first Chinese carrier to be equipped with electromagnetic catapults, similar to technology the US uses to launch fighter jets from its deck. Deployed with 3 electromagnetic catapults for more efficient and diverse aircraft launches, Fujian will increase Chinese Navy's operational flexibility and sortie rates. It will join the Chinese Navy by the end of this year. Now, China's rapidly expanding carrier fleet poses a strategic challenge and a huge security threat to India. Few reports suggest China is reportedly planning to station one of its carriers in the Indian Ocean permanently. If Bharat has to keep the Chinese Navy out of the Indian Ocean in any future conflict, then India will have to rely not just on superior tactics, but also brute force of its own aircraft carrier fleet, as well as nuclear submarines. But what do you believe? Does the Indian Navy need a nuclear-powered supercarrier? Leave a comment with your opinion, hit the like button, and subscribe to Inconnect News.